Okay, what about people who write really scary plots like Stephen King? Okay, Mr. Chairman, fellow Toastmasters, I was not responsible for starting the Civil War in Rwanda, the Rwanda Civil War, but I had a story that was the worst of an Ernest Hemingway novel and a Stephen King novel all rolled into one right at the start of that war. This is my story. I'm sitting in my office in Johannesburg, near Johannesburg, South Africa, in mid-1992, and I get a phone call from a gentleman called Charles Munyenshongori, a Hutu from Rwanda, 6'6" tall. Nice guy. He says, "Peter, my friend, you've got to come up quickly. We have a civil war." I said, "Charles, I know. When I left there 6 weeks ago, the civil war was just starting. You told me how bad it was going to get." He says, "It's bad, but we need stuff. My government has asked me to contact people who can supply us with some commodities, some equipment, and a whole lot of stuff. And you're one of the few people I know in South Africa that could do this. And South Africa is our nearest place where we can get this. You can get it quickly." I said, "Charles, I've got a bad feeling. You're in a civil war, you want me to come there?" "Yeah." He says, "It could be huge business for you." I said, "Okay." But he said, "But there's a problem." Now that is one of the most common phrases you will ever hear in Africa, but there is a problem. You can't fly direct into Kigali because of the civil war. You have to fly to Goma in Zaire, which is now called the Democratic Republic of Congo, and I will meet you at that airport and we'll drive to Kigali. It's only about 200 kilometers. I said, "Are you sure about this?" "Oh yeah, no problem." Another very common phrase in Africa. So I was still nervous, but I thought, let's go. But to get to Goma was difficult. First, from Johannesburg, I had to fly to a place called Lubumbashi, which is in the extreme southeast of Zaire, just across the border from Zambia. Then I had to fly right across the country to the capital, Kinshasa, which is on the western side. And Zaire is as big as the whole of Western Europe. It's a huge country. I had to spend the night in a very expensive multinational hotel in Kinshasa, and then fly on an antiquated plane with 2 propellers. I think it's called a Fokker, carries about 20 people. No, I really mean that, F-O-K-K-E-R, German plane. And it flew into Goma after 3 or 4 hours, 20 minutes. And here's where the Hemingway connection comes in. We're flying in verdant green jungle, huge trees, massive backdrop of this huge volcano, the Virunga Mountains, home to the mountain gorillas, right in the corner of Uganda, Rwanda, and Zaire. And it's something that's really hard to describe, but just picture this green, huge volcano, little landing strip, in. Get out of the plane, walk up to this. It was a scene out of the 1930s, corrugated iron shed, airport terminal. Get in, no Charles Munyenshongori, no, nobody. I thought, oh yeah, there's only 2 planes a week into Goma, and it's really the pits, I'm going to say, really. It's a place you don't want to get stuck in. What do? Do I get back on that plane and go back to Kinshasa, waste all this money? Because my 2 previous trips to Rwanda, I'd done a bit of business, but nowhere near enough to cover my costs. Or do I get on with the mission? So, never one too shy at a risk. I said, let's go for it. I found a phone that worked, which was an experience. I phoned all the way to the next country, to Kigali. I get hold of Mr. Munyenshongori. "Charles, we have a problem, but don't worry. I can't get there today, but I'll get there tomorrow." So what am I going to do? He said, "Get a taxi, get across the border. About 5 k's inside Rwanda, there is a little hotel at a place called Gisenyi, and stay there." I said, "But you've got a war on." No, that part of the country's safe." Doesn't tell me the real story. He said, "Look, you'll be fine. I'll come down tomorrow and pick you up. Maybe tonight, but a little." So find a taxi, get in. The guy says, "You're going to the hotel?" I said, "No, I'm going to the border." The people in that part of the world are very dark, very black, and when they get a fright, they roll their eyes back like we would do. But when you see a really dark guy roll his eyes back, so all you see is the whites, it's scary. And he says, "Ah!" I said, "What?" He says, "There's a war there." This is all in French. They don't speak English in that part of the world. My French was passable, workable, but not that fluent. He says, "Oh, I can't go. It's too dangerous." He says, "I'll take you within half a kilometre." I said, "Fine." So I walk to the border. Suitcase one hand, briefcase the other. I get there. Armed guards, AK-47s, camouflage uniform. It looked like one of those Vietnam War programs where the guys sit in those little huts in the uniform. "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to Rwanda." They do this high rolling trick. "Ah, you're crazy. Crazy white man." What order is the derogatory term for white man? Crazy. I said, "No, I needed to." "What? Passport, stamp my passport, off you go." I walk across this bridge, feeling like I'm taking my last steps down the road to hell. I really worried about this thing, and I don't know if I'm ever going to come out of here. but I'm committed. So I get to the end of the site, same story, the eye rolling back, trigger, where you at? I said, I'm going to meet someone. He says, man, we've got a war on. Are you mad? Crazy? I said, no, I've got to meet someone. Who? I said, I can't tell you. They said, okay, but you leave your suitcase and your briefcase here. I said, no, my briefcase got all my personal gear. It had some sensitive documents that I didn't want anyone else to see, with prices and stuff. And in my suitcase I had a bottle of Johnny Walker Red and a whole pile of cartons of Chesterfield, which is like currency in that bottle. 4 people that I wanted to smooth negotiations with. That's the last time I'm ever going to see that gear. Probably the last time I see my suitcase, but I pressed on. They said, Gasenyi's that way. I walked. Now picture this, it's the real rainforest, these huge trees, massive, 100 feet tall trees, packed, date palms, fruit bats. They're so big, they're like cats with wings flying in broad daylight to get these dates off these date palms. Swooping everywhere, mounds of rotting vegetation. It rains every day, it's 32 degrees, it's as humid as we are here today, and it's like that all year round, and it's a volcano. The lake on the right is a sulphurous lake, Lake Kivu, so you've got the stench of sulphur. I walk through this, now I'm nervous, I really think I'm on my last day. I get to the hotel, it takes quite a while. Walk in, there's no guests. They're amazed that a white man should pitch up, because I haven't seen another white face since I left Kinshasa. What's up? They said, we've got a war on. I said, I need a bed for the night. Oh, sure, no problem. And it's only $112 a night or something like that. I said, but you haven't got any guests, I need a discount. No discount. I phoned my friend Charles, I'm here. He says, okay, but there's a problem. That same phrase. Now what? I might get there tomorrow, can't get there today. But I'm sending an army major in a jeep to pick you up. Don't tell him why you're here, don't tell him who you're coming to see. He will take you to the border, get your suitcase, bring you back. I said, you know, this story is just getting worse and worse and worse. The army major comes in with 2 guards with AK-47s at the high court. Ding, 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 ding. Stands to attention, salutes, Monsieur, right? I said, oui. He said, come with me. The waiters, there's 3 of them standing against the wall. Their eyes do the rolling back trick. They are quaking in their boots. They are shaking, almost levitating. They are so scared to see me soldiers. Convinced I'm a goner, that I'm being taken away to be shot. Take me off, get my suitcase, take me back. The waiters can't believe that I'm back in one piece. I'm still alive, no bullet marks. You know, my suitcase hadn't been touched. The bottle of scotch was intact, the cigarettes were intact, and I got back. I was there for another week, and then the story gets worse, but that's a story for another time. So, Mr. Chairman, fellow Toastmasters, that is my little part at the start of the civil war in Rwanda. I didn't cause it, but I was involved. That was my story. Thank you.